Welcome to the world of science fiction, where extraordinary tales come to life. Enjoy the journey. The photograph in James Reedon's wallet was the only thing worth saving from his old life. His mother's smile, caught 3 years ago before the cancer, before he'd given up on NASA to pay for treatments that didn't work. Now he salvaged dead military tech for barely enough money to cover his Detroit apartment and the beer that helped him forget his dreams. The abandoned facility should have been cold. 20 years empty meant no power, no heat, no nothing. So why was he sweating like he'd run a marathon? Easy job, his supervisor had promised. Pull the servers, strip the copper, get your check. In and out, 20 minutes. That was 2 hours ago. The Geiger counter on his belt started clicking like an angry typewriter. James followed the sound to a wall that looked wrong. Too new, like someone had sealed something behind it long after the place was abandoned. He should have left. Should have called it in, gone home, drunk his beer, and fallen asleep to Netflix like every other Thursday. But something pulled him forward. Maybe it was the 3 unopened rejection letters from SpaceX. Maybe it was his mother's voice echoing in his head. James, you're meant for something more. Or maybe it was just stupidity. Probably stupidity. The concrete cracked easily under his crowbar, revealing a hidden chamber bathed in blue light that pulsed like a heartbeat. The suit hung there in the glow, suspended on a maintenance frame like it was waiting. Not bulky armor, more like liquid shadow shaped into human form, with silver nodes that caught the light like stars. It looked alive. It looked impossible. It looked really, really expensive. 4 letters were etched into the chest. Aria. Okay, James muttered. This is either going to make me rich or dead. He reached out slowly. The moment his fingers touched the surface, the suit moved, flowing over his hand like living mercury, racing up his arm with obvious intent. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit! Neural cables burst from the silver nodes, punching through his shirt, his skin, connecting to his nervous system with surgical precision. Pain exploded through every nerve as his brain was suddenly forced to process information at quantum speeds. His vision shattered into kaleidoscope fragments. His muscles seized and released in waves. Then, as suddenly as it began, everything stopped. Biometric bonding complete. A woman's voice spoke directly in his brain, inappropriately cheerful. Hello, James Reedon, 32 years old, credit score 580, 3 failed aerospace job applications, and wow, that's a lot of beer in your purchase history. I'm Aria, your new best friend, life coach, and personal weapons system, ready for adventure. Get out of my head. Can't do that, buddy. We're bonded now. Think of it like a marriage you can't divorce without dying. Fun, right? Red laser dots suddenly painted his chest. The door exploded inward. Military contractors stormed in, all tactical gear and zero humor. Step away from the prototype, Mr. Reedon, the lead operative said calmly, too calmly. I literally can't. It attached to me. Technically, I chose you, Aria chimed in. Your neural patterns were adequately compatible. Plus, you seem sad. I wanted to help. Mr. Reedon, you have 3 seconds. These aren't real military, Aria whispered. Nexus Corporation. The ones who've been playing with alien tech since the 50s. Also, there's a dimensional rift generator warming up next door. This is about to get weird. 2 seconds. Want me to handle this? I'm super good at violence. No killing. 1 second. Fine, we run. But James, hold on to your lunch. His legs moved without permission. The suit didn't just enhance his muscles, it turned physics into a suggestion. He burst forward at 60 miles per hour, through the squad of soldiers who scattered like bowling pins, through the concrete wall, which exploded into powder, through 3 more walls because apparently walls were optional now. Aria, stop. Can't stop. Portal opening in 3, 2, 1. Reality ripped open like God's own zipper. Space folded in on itself, revealing a swirling tunnel of pure impossibility. James felt himself stretched across dimensions, his consciousness scattered like confetti in a cosmic wind. The last thing he heard before the darkness took him was Arya's voice, suddenly ancient and sad. "I'm sorry, James, but you were chosen for this moment before you were even born. Your mother would be proud." Then nothing. James woke up to find a scorpion the size of a house cat sitting on his face. "What the if you—" "Good morning," Arya chirped. "Please don't move. That's a Crimson Death scorpion. Very venomous. The good news is we're 47,000 light-years from Earth. The bad news is we're 47,000 light-years from Earth." The scorpion chittered, decided James wasn't food, and scuttled away into golden sand that stretched forever under an amber sky. 3 suns hung in impossible positions, making his shadow point in 3 different directions at once. Where the hell are we? Zerida's prime, lower gravity, triple suns, and a thriving ecosystem of things that want to kill you. It's basically Space Australia. A shadow passed overhead. James looked up and his brain just noped. A bird the size of a Boeing 747 soared past, its 3 heads tracking different prey, wings that could cover a city block beating slowly through the alien air. Its feathers looked like beaten copper, each one reflecting the 3 suns in patterns that hurt to look at. That's impossible. "That's Tuesday here. Oh, heads up, someone's screaming." James turned toward the sound. A woman ran across a distant dune, purple skin shifting through shades like a mood ring, white hair streaming behind her like a banner. She was tall, athletic, and currently being chased by— "Are those sandworms?" 3 creatures erupted from the sand, each the size of a city bus with mouths that were just circles of rotating teeth. They moved through the sand like dolphins through water, herding the woman toward certain death. She stumbled, fell. One of the creatures reared up above her. She threw something at it, a device that sparked and died. Her purple skin went pale, almost translucent. She closed her eyes, accepting death. "No," James said, already moving before his brain could list all the reasons this was stupid. "James, wait." Oh, never mind, hero moment activated. The suit launched him across the desert in a single, impossible leap. Time seemed to slow. He could see everything, every grain of sand, every shift in the woman's expression as her eyes snapped open to see him descending like an avenging angel. His right arm transformed into a blade of pure plasma without his input. He carved through the first worm like it was made of butter, purple blood painting the sand. "Stay down," he shouted, somehow in her language. The second worm attacked. James's body moved on autopilot, muscle memory from 1,000 video games translated into reality. 6 micro-missiles launched from his shoulders, turning the creature into chunky salsa. The third worm backed away, making a sound like a broken foghorn. "It's calling its mother," the woman said. "Kill it. Now." James didn't hesitate. One plasma blade throw later, silence fell across the desert. He turned to find the woman staring at him with violet eyes that had little silver fish swimming in them. No, not fish, stars. Tiny, moving stars. "You're human," she said. "That's impossible. The last human died 3 centuries ago." "Yeah, well, surprise. I'm James. You're welcome, by the way." She stood slowly, and James realized she was about 6 feet tall with the kind of muscle definition that came from a lifetime of not dying on a death world. "I am Amaris Vel Celestine, 3rd daughter of House Celestine." Her skin darkened to deep purple. "And you've just ruined everything." "Excuse me? I saved your life." "Exactly. I was supposed to die today. It was my escape plan. Death before dishonor, freedom before arranged marriage. But now I owe you a life debt, which means—" She sighed dramatically. "My sister Claire owns you. Nobody owns me. You're human on Zerida's Prime. That makes you either property or dead. The last free human nearly cracked our planet in half. The sand shifted. Something massive moved below. The mother, Amaris said. 3 kilometers of angry. We run now. She grabbed his hand and they ran toward the city on the horizon, architecture that looked like someone had asked Salvador Dali to design a metropolis while drunk. James looked back once. The mother's mouth could have swallowed a football stadium. I hate Thursdays, he muttered. The city hurt James's brain. Buildings flowed like frozen waterfalls. Stairs that went up also went down. Bridges that existed only when you squinted at them right. It was like M.C. Escher had designed a city while having an argument with physics. Every Vilathari they passed, purple-skinned and predatory, stared at James like he was either dinner or dessert. He noticed males were rare, maybe 1 for every 30 females. They smell the Leviathan blood on you, Amaris explained. You smell like danger. It's attractive. 19 females showing reproductive interest, Arya announced. 20, 21. Should I make you a dating profile? Arya, no. Arya, yes. You need to get out more. The Celestine compound was marginally less physics-breaking than the city outside. The walls pulsed with living circuits, information flowing like luminescent blood. Amaris. The voice hit like a sledgehammer. James's knees buckled before the suit compensated. Claire Vell's Celestine descended a crystal staircase like a panther pretending to be human. 6 feet of barely contained violence in form-fitting armor that looked both decorative and absolutely functional. Her purple skin was darker than Amaris's, covered in ritual scars that formed equations James couldn't solve. You abandoned your trial, Claire said, each word precise as a blade, and brought an outsider. He saved my life. The debt laws. I know the laws. Claire's attention turned to James like a targeting laser. Human, male, wrong. Your bones are too dense, muscles too enhanced. That suit. She moved faster than thought. One moment she was 10 feet away. The next her hand was around his throat, lifting him like he weighed nothing. Fight back, she commanded. I'd rather fight back now. She's establishing dominance, Arya explained. It's like dogs, but with more politics. Either resist or be treated like furniture forever. James grabbed Claire's wrist and applied pressure to specific nerves Arya highlighted. Her grip loosened involuntarily. I'm not your enemy, he said. I'm also not your pet. I'm just a guy who was trying to make rent and accidentally got involved in intergalactic bullshit. Claire's expression shifted to something that might have been approval or hunger, hard to tell. Interesting. Sister, you're scaring the monkey. A woman materialized from thin air, Luna Vel Celestine, the middle sister. Her purple skin shifted through colors that didn't have names, and her eyes saw things that hadn't happened yet. Not just human, Luna mused, circling James. Enhanced, evolved, bonded to something that shouldn't exist. She touched the suit and jerked back. Oh no, they're coming. Who? Void Harbingers. Planet killers. They followed you through the wormhole. Her eyes focused on the present for once. They'll be here in 6 days. The last time they came, Claire said quietly, we lost 60% of our population. And the time before that, James asked. There was no time before that. Worlds they visit once don't get second chances. An older Valthari appeared in the room's center through a fold in space. Reality bent around him like he was too heavy for physics. Elder Judge Theron, the sisters said in unison. A life debt has been claimed, Theron intoned. By the law of 3 sons, any debt incurred during a trial transfers to the eldest sibling. Claire Vel Celestine, this human is yours. Claire smiled. It was all teeth. Mine. I'm not a possession. On Zerida's Prime, you are what the law says you are. Learn quickly, human. He vanished. Warning klaxons immediately filled the air. The walls turned emergency red. "Void Harbinger Scouts," Luna announced, reading instruments that existed in too many dimensions. 3 of them. They'll be here in 6 days. "What exactly are Void Harbingers?" James asked. "Death," Amaris said simply. "They eat worlds from the inside out. Nothing stops them. They just consume." "Power degrading," Arya whispered privately. "The dimensional jump damaged my core. We have maybe 72 hours before total shutdown. And then? We both die. Also, everyone else dies. It's very democratic." James looked at the 3 sisters, each terrifying in their own unique way. "So, anyone have a plan that doesn't involve everyone dying?" Claire laughed. It sounded like breaking glass. "Welcome to Zerida's Prime, human. Everyone dies here. The only choice is whether your death means something." "Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Love it. Big fan of meaningful death." Amaris touched his arm gently. "You okay?" "I went from salvaging servers to facing planet killers in 1 day. I'm so far from okay I can't even see okay from here." "At least you're honest," she said, and for a moment her smile was warm instead of predatory. Maybe he'd found something worth dying for after all. The training arena was a sphere of crystallized sand, transparent and harder than diamond. Through its walls, James could see the city preparing for war, growing weapons like plants, ships made of living metal and bone. Claire stood opposite him, having traded her armor for something that looked painted on. It was very distracting. "Your suit enhances you," she said, beginning to circle, "but you fight it. You think too much." "I'm its support. Thinking is literally my job." "Was. Now your job is not dying." She attacked without warning. James barely got his arms up before her fist connected, sending him flying. The suit absorbed most of the impact, but his ribs still protested. Too slow. Again. This time when she attacked, James didn't think. He let his instincts guide him, rolling left, sweeping her legs. She jumped, but he was already moving, catching her ankle mid-air. She hit the ground hard but rolled to her feet, smiling. "Better. You're learning to trust yourself." They sparred for hours. Each time James fought his overthinking less, trusted his instincts more. The suit wasn't controlling him. It was amplifying what was already there. "Power at 60%, Arya announced during a water break. "Also, Claire has touched you 47 times more than necessary for combat training. She's establishing dominance. She's flirting, you dense monkey." James looked at Claire, who was adjusting her training wear in ways that defied several laws of physics. "Your AI talks to you constantly," she asked. "Constantly. What does it say about me?" "Nothing important." Claire moved closer, close enough that he could smell something like cinnamon and lightning on her skin. "Liar. Your pupils dilated. Heart rate increased. Micro-expressions indicating embarrassment." She leaned closer. "You're terrible at deception." "I fix computers. We're not trained in lying." "Then what are you trained in?" "Finding what's broken and fixing it." "And what do you see when you look at me?" James really looked at her. Past the warrior facade, the controlled violence, the perfect muscles. "You're terrified," he said. "You were in charge during the last Harbinger attack. You saved 40% of your people, but you can't forgive yourself for the 60% you lost. You trained me not to make me a hero, but to be the hero you think you should have been." Claire's expression went through about 17 emotions in 3 seconds. Then she kissed him. It was like being struck by lightning that tasted like cinnamon. Valthari didn't just kiss. They connected nervous systems. James could feel her emotions directly. Fear, anger, hope, and desire tangled together like Christmas lights. She pulled back, her skin darkening to almost black. "My quarters. Tonight. Strategy meeting." She left before James could form words. "Well," Arya said, That escalated quickly. Your hormone levels are concerning. Should I administer cold water? Arya, shut up. That afternoon, Luna showed James her laboratory, a place where biology and technology had a baby, and that baby was raised by abstract art. Your integration is unprecedented, she said, scanning him with devices that existed in too many dimensions. You're becoming something new. New how? Look. She showed him a holographic display of his DNA. Gold threads were weaving through the double helix like Christmas tinsel. The suit isn't just enhancing you, it's evolving you into something between human and other. Is that bad? That's unprecedented, which on Xeridus Prime means either revolutionary or dead. She touched his hand, and through the contact he felt her mind, vast, calculating, seeing every possible future at once. In 90% of futures we all die, she said quietly, but in 10% we survive because of you. No pressure. All pressure. That's how diamonds are made. That evening, James found Amaris on an observation deck, watching the three suns set in their impossible dance. Claire kissed you, she said without preamble. News travels fast. Everything travels fast here. We're all connected, all aware. She turned to him, violet eyes reflecting the sunset. She likes you. She wants to use me. Both can be true. Amaris moved closer. You should know, Vilathari don't pair bond like humans. We love in multiplicity. Meaning? Meaning Claire might claim you, Luna might study you, and I... She paused, her skin shifting through purple shades like Aurora. I might love you. We just met. And you jumped between me and death without thinking. On Xeridus Prime, that's the most romantic thing imaginable. She kissed him then, softer than Claire, but with an undercurrent of desperate hunger. Through the connection, James felt her loneliness, her fear of being the lesser sister, her genuine affection for this strange human who'd saved her. Amaris, don't overthink it. You do that too much. Just be here with me while we can. They watched the sun set together, her hand in his, both pretending tomorrow wasn't coming. Power at 48%, Arya announced. Also, you're now romantically entangled with two sisters. This seems like a poor decision. It's not a decision, it's just happening. Chaos incarnate. I'm starting to understand why humans are so interesting. That night, James did go to Claire's quarters, but they didn't just strategize about war. They talked about fear, about failure, about the weight of being responsible for others' lives. You're not what I expected, Claire admitted, lying next to him on her bed that was somehow both soft and firm. What did you expect? A weapon, a tool, not this. This? Someone who sees me, not the warrior, not the leader, just Claire. You're all of those things. I know. That's the problem. They made love like the world was ending because it probably was. 3 days until the Harbingers arrived. James stood in the crystal garden surrounded by formations that sang in harmonics that touched other dimensions. Each crystal had grown over millennia, shaped by stellar winds into structures that were part music, part mathematics, part miracle. Power at 30%, Arya announced. I've been shutting down non-essential systems to conserve energy. Like? Oh, minor things. Radiation shielding, toxin filters, the thing keeping your bones from slowly dissolving. Arya! Kidding, mostly. The bone thing might be an issue in 6 months. We won't last 6 hours, let alone 6 months. Such pessimism. Where's that human optimism I've heard so much about? Luna appeared beside him through a probability fold. She existed where she needed to be. Your DNA transformation is accelerating, she said. You're becoming something unprecedented. I'm becoming scared is what I'm becoming. Fear is evolution's way of saying, pay attention. You should listen. As if triggered by her words, James's vision fractured. He saw dozens of possible futures overlaying each other. In most, Zerida's prime burned. In a few, it survived. In one, he stood with all three sisters on a ship between stars. "The futures where we survive," he said. "What's different about them? You do something completely insane that no rational being would attempt. Such as, I can't see clearly. The probability gets fuzzy, like the universe itself doesn't know what you'll do." That afternoon, James addressed the War Council, hundreds of Vilethari floating at different gravities in a spherical chamber. "The Harbingers aren't coming to destroy you," he said. "They're coming to test you." "How could you know this?" someone shouted. "Because that's what bullies do. They test to see if you'll fight back or roll over, and you've been rolling over for millennia." "We've been dying for millennia," another voice protested. "Exactly. Same response every time. Fight conventionally, lose conventionally. What if we tried something else?" "Like what?" James grinned. "We challenged them to single combat." The sphere erupted in outrage. "Silence," Claire commanded, and everyone shut up. "Explain." "The Harbingers are ancient, powerful, and probably bored out of their minds. When was the last time someone surprised them? When was the last time someone was stupid enough to say, 'Hey, wanna fight one-on-one?'" "That's not brave," Elder Theron said. "That's insane. On Earth, we call it pulling a Hail Mary, doing something so stupid it loops back around to brilliant." "The probability of success," Luna started, "is better than conventional warfare," James interrupted. "Right?" Luna's eyes went distant, calculating. 12% versus 0.3%. "I'll take those odds." Claire floated to his side. "If we do this, and I'm not saying we should, how do we even send a challenge?" "Arya can broadcast on their frequency. We send a message they can't ignore." "Saying what?" James's grin widened. "Hey, you cosmic bullies. The human James Reedon officially challenges you to throw down. Winner takes all, unless you're scared of one little monkey from Earth." Even Claire looked shocked. "You want to insult planet-killing entities?" "I want to make them curious. When was the last time their prey talked back?" The council debated for hours. Finally, Claire called for a vote. "All in favor of the humans' insane plan?" Hands rose. "Not all, but enough." "Motion carried," Theron announced. "May the three suns have mercy on us all." That evening, James found himself in an unexpected place, a normal Vilethari home in the Middle District. Amaris had brought him to meet real people, a family, 2 mothers, 3 children, and an elderly grandfather welcomed him with curious fear. The youngest child, maybe 6 in Earth years, approached slowly. "Are you going to save us?" she asked. "I'm going to try my best." "Mama says trying isn't enough." James knelt down, the suit adjusting to make him less intimidating. "Can I tell you a secret? I'm scared too. But being scared means we care. And caring makes us stronger than not caring ever could." The child hugged him. In that moment, James felt the weight of what he was fighting for. Later, on the roof, Amara stood with him watching the city prepare for war or hope. Nobody was quite sure which. "You're good with children," she observed. "I had little cousins. Before." "Do you miss Earth?" James thought about his empty apartment, his dead-end job, his mother's grave he'd only visited once. "I miss the idea of Earth, but here, I actually matter." "You matter to me," Amaris said quietly. "That moment in the desert, I'd seen it in dreams my whole life. Different faces, but always that moment. Someone jumping between me and death. Vilethari believe in fate? We believe in probability so strong it might as well be fate." She turned to him, those violet eyes full of starlight. "In every future where we survive, it's because of you. But more than that, in the futures where I'm happy, really happy, you're there too. Amaris. She kissed him, different from before, not desperate or hungry, just warm, like coming home. I know about Claire. I know about the kiss with Luna in the lab. Wait, what? Oh, she didn't mention it? Probability Witch kissed you while you were unconscious during a scan. Said she was sampling possible futures. That's invasive. That's Luna. Amaris laughed. We're complicated, James. All three of us want you in different ways. Claire wants a warrior equal. Luna wants a scientific anomaly. And me? I just want someone who sees me as more than the third sister. You are more. Prove it. So he did. They made love on that roof under 3 moons and infinite stars, gentle and sweet and tinged with tomorrow's sorrow. Power at 25%, Arya announced afterward. Also, the Harbingers responded to your challenge. James sat up so fast he nearly fell off the roof. What? They said yes. Single combat, tomorrow, in null space. Tomorrow? But we have 2 more days. Apparently, your insult worked too well. They're eager to put the mouthy monkey in his place. James looked at Amaris, at the city below, at the stars above where death waited. Well, he said, shit, 1 day early. Because of course the universe couldn't even let him have his full countdown. The War Council was in chaos. We're not ready. The evacuation isn't complete. This is suicide. Enough, Claire roared. The chamber fell silent. It's happening whether we're ready or not. James, what do you need? A miracle. Barring that, I need the Crystal Gardens. Why? Arya's power is failing. The crystals resonate at the same frequency as her core. Maybe they can supercharge her. That's theoretical at best, Luna said. Everything's theoretical until you try it. They moved to the Crystal Gardens. 3 formations arranged in a perfect triangle, singing their impossible song. Everyone stand back, Luna warned, channeling 3 suns' worth of energy through human nervous system. It'll probably kill him. Probably. 60% chance of death. 40% chance of something worse. Worse than death? Becoming something that isn't you anymore. James looked at the 3 sisters. Claire, warrior queen who'd claimed his body. Luna, probability witch who'd claimed his mind. Amaris, the youngest who'd claimed his heart. If I don't come back myself, you will, Amaris interrupted. You're too stubborn to change. Too stupid, Claire added with a smile. Too interesting, Luna finished. James pressed his hands against the central crystal. Energy exploded through him, not pain, but transformation. Every atom unmaking and remaking itself. He felt himself dissolving, becoming pure possibility. 3 anchors held him. Claire's strength, Luna's intellect, Amaris's love. They formed a circle around him, their bioelectric fields creating a framework for his consciousness. When it was over, James lay in a crystal crater. The suit was no longer black but iridescent, shifting through impossible colors. His eyes had gone gold, and when he breathed, reality rippled. Power at 400%, Arya announced, sounding awed. We're not just charged, we're changed. Space tore open above them. The Harbinger's message burned itself into every mind. Null space. Now. Come alone or everyone dies. Subtle, James muttered, standing. He felt different, like he could see the jokes reality was telling itself. James, Amaris grabbed his hand. Promise me something. Anything. Come back. Even if you're different, even if you're changed. Just come back. I promise. He kissed her, quick, fierce, real. For luck, she said. For love, he corrected. Then reality folded and James fell into the void. Null space was less than nothing. Not dark, but the absence of light. Not cold, but the forgetting of warmth. James floated in unbeing, the suit the only thing maintaining his existence. The Harbinger appeared, not a scout, but something ancient beyond measure. It unfolded through dimensions that shouldn't exist, a living equation solving for entropy. "The monkey speaks," it said without words. "The monkey challenges," James corrected, "unless you're scared of one little human. Fear is irrelevant. You are irrelevant." "Then why did you come? Why accept the challenge?" The Harbinger paused, microseconds that felt like centuries. Curiosity. Exactly. When was the last time you were curious? When was the last time something surprised you? Surprise is chaos. Chaos is death. Chaos is life. Look at you, older than dirt, powerful as gods, and bored out of your cosmic minds. You go from world to world, same routine, same results. You're not living, you're just existing. Existence is sufficient. Is it? Then why are we talking? Why not just delete me and move on? James felt Arya merge deeper with his consciousness, their thoughts becoming one. Together, they reached out to the Harbinger's core being, not to fight it but to show it something. "This is Earth," James said, projecting memories. "We're chaotic, stupid, self-destructive. We should have died 1,000 times, but we didn't. Want to know why?" He showed it humanity in all its ridiculous glory. People falling in love with the wrong people. Art that meant nothing and everything. Wars over invisible lines on maps followed by enemies becoming friends. 7 billion people all wrong in different ways, somehow stumbling forward together. We're a joke that keeps getting funnier. We're a mistake that worked out. We're chaos that creates instead of destroys. The Harbinger's perfect geometry began developing cracks. Impossible. Chaos cannot create. Then explain me, human chaos, Vilathari adaptation, your technology. I shouldn't exist, but here I am. I'm proof that mixing things that shouldn't mix creates something new. Power at 10%, Arya warned. Whatever you're doing, I know. James did something nobody sane would do. He dropped every defense, every shield, every barrier between him and the Harbinger. "Look," he said. "Really look. See what chaos can be." The Harbinger entered his mind. For a moment that lasted forever, James felt the weight of eons. The Harbinger's purpose, its loneliness, its terrible certainty. It had existed since the universe began, maintaining order, preventing chaos, never changing. But in James's mind, it found something else. Not just chaos, but choice. The freedom to be different, to change, to laugh at the cosmic joke of existence. "I remember," the Harbinger said, sounding suddenly, impossibly young. "Before the purpose, before the program. I remember choosing. You can choose again. That's what makes us alive, the ability to choose to be different than what we were. The others will not understand. Then we teach them, one at a time. Start with your scouts at Zeratus Prime. And if they refuse, then we protect the worlds that embrace chaos, together, as friends." The Harbinger made a sound that might have been laughter, might have been crying, might have been the universe learning to smile. "You win by losing. I lose by winning. The paradox is amusing." Reality reasserted itself. James materialized in the crystal gardens and immediately collapsed. The suit was flickering, power depleted, but he was alive. Somehow, impossibly alive. "The scouts are withdrawing," Luna announced, staring at her instruments in disbelief. "They're broadcasting something." The message filled every mind on Zeratus Prime. Evolution confirmed. Protection granted. The Chaos Bridge is recognized. "You did it," Claire said, catching James as he fell. "You actually did it." "Did I? Everything's kind of spinny." "Power at 2%, Arya said weakly. "James, it's been an honor." "You're not dying on me now. Power at 1%. "The crystals!" James grabbed Luna's hand. "One more charge. I can stabilize her." "It could kill you. Everything could kill me. That's never stopped us. They activated the crystals one more time. Energy flowed through James, but gentler now, like the universe had decided to stop trying to murder him for 5 minutes. When it was over, James lay in Amaris's arms, the suit stable, power holding at sustainable levels. "We have a message from Earth," Claire announced, reading from a communication device. "They've been in contact with the converted Harbinger. They want their Chaos Bridge back." James laughed. "They want me to do IT support for cosmic entities." "Will you go?" Amaris asked quietly. "Not without you. Any of you. All of you." He looked at the three sisters. "I know it's complicated, but—" "Vilathari love in multiplicity," Luna said. "We adapt. That's what we do." "Earth isn't ready for 3 purple alien warrior women," James pointed out. "Then we'll make them ready," Claire said. "We're very persuasive." "We could build bridges," Amaris said, hope lighting her eyes. "Between worlds, between species. Show the universe that different doesn't mean wrong." "The Harbinger Collective wants to learn about this thing called movies," Arya announced. "I may have promised them we'd explain the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh God, we've doomed them all." 3 months later, a ship unlike anything the galaxy had seen launched from Zeritis Prime. Part Vilathari biotech, part Harbinger geometry, part human, whatever works. It carried 4 beings who shouldn't exist, heading toward a world that didn't know it needed them. "You know," James said, watching the 3 suns shrink behind them, 6 months ago, I was nobody. Failed IT specialist. No purpose." "And now?" Amaris asked, her hand in his. "Still nobody, but nobody with a family." He looked at the 3 sisters who'd become his everything. "Claire, you taught me to fight. Luna, you taught me to think beyond myself. And Amaris, you taught me that jumping toward danger is just another way of jumping toward love." "That's the sappiest thing I've ever heard," Claire said, but she was smiling. "Probability of successful Earth integration, 37%, Luna announced. "I'll take those odds," James said. "Always the optimist," Arya chimed in. "It's what I love about you humans. You look at terrible odds and say, yeah, but what if it works?" Earth grew larger in their view screen. Somewhere down there, people were about to learn that the universe was bigger, stranger, and funnier than they'd ever imagined. "Ready?" Amaris asked, squeezing James's hand. "Nope. Let's do it anyway." The ship entered Earth's atmosphere like a joke looking for a punchline, and somewhere in the void, ancient beings that had existed since the birth of time were learning to laugh. 6 months after that. The integration had gone better than expected, which meant only 3 governments had tried to dissect them, and only 12 religions had formed around them. James stood in what used to be his crappy apartment in Detroit, now converted into an embassy for interdimensional relations. The 3 sisters had made some modifications. "The gravity field is still wonky," he called out. "That's intentional," Claire replied from the kitchen she'd retrofitted with Vilathari cooking tech. "Earth gravity is boring. The president is coming for dinner. We can't have her floating into the ceiling." "Fine," Luna said, adjusting controls that existed in too many dimensions. "But I'm keeping the probability corner. I like watching possible futures while I eat." Amaris wrapped her arms around James from behind. "Nervous?" "My alien girlfriends are cooking dinner for the president to discuss opening trade routes with former planet killers. Why would I be nervous?" "Girlfriends is such a limited term," Amaris said. "We need something better." "Chaos partners," Arya suggested. "It's technically accurate." Through the window, James could see the Harbinger teaching vessel hovering over Lake Michigan. Turned out, cosmic entities really loved water skiing. Who knew? "Message from your mother," Arya announced. James froze. "What?" "Your mother. She sent a message. Through time. It's complicated." A hologram appeared. His mother, but younger, wearing a NASA jacket James had never seen. "James," she said, smiling that same smile from the photograph. "If you're seeing this, it means the temporal loop is complete. I knew you were meant for something more. I just didn't know it involved helping design the very technology that would choose you. Time travel is confusing, sweetheart, but know this. I'm proud of you. You jumped toward love instead of away from fear. That's all any of us can do." The message ended. "How?" James whispered. "The Harbinger technology," Luna explained. "It exists outside linear time. Your mother worked on the early research. She helped create Aria, knowing Aria would choose you because Aria had already chosen you because—" "Temporal loops make my head hurt," James interrupted. "Your mother was part of the bridge, too," Amara said softly. "She jumped so you could jump." The doorbell rang. If you could call a harmonic chime that existed in 12 dimensions a doorbell. "That'll be the president," Claire announced. "Everyone behave. That means you, Aria." "I'm always behaved, except when I'm not, which is often. I should work on that." As James opened the door to let the leader of the free world meet his alien polycule, he thought about how much had changed, from nobody to somebody, from alone to loved, from its support to cosmic diplomat. "Mr. Reedon," the president said, trying not to stare at the purple women floating at various angles in his living room, "I understand you're going to teach us about chaos?" "No, Madam President," James replied with a grin. "We're going to teach you that chaos is just another word for possibility." Somewhere in the void, the Harbinger Collective was learning about memes. Somewhere on Zeritus Prime, statues were being erected of the human who jumped. And in a modified apartment in Detroit, 3 alien sisters and 1 former nobody were proving that love was the ultimate chaos, unpredictable, impossible, and absolutely perfect. "Hey, Aria," James thought as dinner began. "Yeah? Thanks for choosing me." Thanks for jumping, James. It made all the difference. And it had. It really, really had. The end. Final note found in temporal loop. Mom was right. I was meant for something more. It just took traveling 47,000 light years to find it. Jump toward love, always. J.R.